This must be one of the hilarious stories most of us enjoyed as children in India. But even as grown-up, many are not aware of its profound spiritual significance as interpreted by Advaita scholars and modern-day enlightened sages like Sri Ramana Maharshi. Let us dive into it. Before that, let us relive the story. It is a simple storyline that goes like this. Once, 10 friends went on an outing to a distant place. On the way, they had to cross a river, which they did, swimming through the strong current in the water. When they reached the other bank, one of them wanted to ensure that everyone made it across safely. He gave a shout out to his other friends and made them line up so he could count them. But after counting, it turned out that there were only 9 of them. Thinking that the counting was wrong, a second friend came forward and counted again, but once again the number stood at 9, leaving all of them stunned and anxious. In the midst of rising tension, a third friend started counting, but only to confirm the findings of the other 2 friends. Nevertheless, counting continued for some more rounds as they desperately tried to find the missing 10th friend, but in vain. Finally, they gave up, being convinced that one of them had really drowned in the river. The thought of losing a friend hit them hard. They sat in a huddle, crying. The sorrowful scene caught the eye of a traveler who was passing by. "What happened, brothers?" he asked them with concern. "We 10 friends were crossing the river, but one of us must have drowned while crossing, because only 9 of us are here now," came the answer. The traveler was astonished because he could see all 10 of them. He made them line up again and started counting aloud. When the friends saw the traveler's count did not stop at 9, but actually went up to 10, they were stunned, pleasantly surprised. How did the missing 10th friend resurface? The traveler unraveled the mystery. The missing 10th friend was never missing. He was there all the time while the friends were counting themselves. Only their counting was flawed, as each of them counted others while leaving out himself. In effect, each of them was ignoring his own presence. This metaphor of missing 10th man is mentioned in Sat Darshanam, or perception of truth, by modern-day sage Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi. He said, duality is like the missing 10th man, who was present not just when he was found, but also during the frantic search for the missing. The missing 10th person is a powerful metaphor. It underlies the fact that we count on others for our happiness, forgetting our true self, and we keep searching for it through numerous forms, which is again an erroneous search, because the true self has no form. What we normally take as ourselves is our ego, which Sri Ramana calls the ghost self. He also describes it as a knot of matter and spirit, or the body and mind. The ego self is made up of 5 sheaths: the gross body, the vital force, the mental sheath, the sheath of intellect, and the blissful sheath or Anandamaya Kosha. The gross body has 5 sense organs through which the mind perceives the world. Therefore, Sri Ramana says the world is but the mind. Both of them rise and set together, and the source from which they rise and set is the true self. Sri Ramana asserts that discovering the true self should be paramount for those who aspire for the highest, because it is the basis of all actions and their fruits. The question is, why do we need to discover this source? Why are we not aware of it as we are? According to Sri Ramana Maharshi, the mind, engaged with the world and filled with incessant thoughts, stands in the way. Thoughts run in different, sometimes opposite directions. Such movements make the mind weak, and a weak mind lacks the strength to channel thoughts towards a purpose. So, deliberate attempts are necessary to discipline the mind. Sri Ramana offers a sure shot for mind discipline. He says regulating breath by watching its flow makes the mind steady. In his words, by watching the flow of breath, the mind ceases to stray like a tethered animal. Here, we should remember that watching the flow of breath, as Sri Ramana advises, is different from pranayama. For pranayama essentially involves directing and holding breath instead of mere watching. Now, mind discipline is only the first step towards discovering our true self. Next, we have to work on I thought, which is the core of the mind. Our worlds revolve around I thought. I am this, I am that, I like this, I hate that, and so on. Then, who is this I? For most of us, it is just the name and form, ever aspiring for more, ever remaining incomplete. It is not the true I thought. Sri Ramana says the true I thought is a feeling of fullness or bliss without break. He compares the true self and ego self to the sun and the moon, as the moon shines in the absence of the sun, although borrowing light from the sun itself. Similarly, the ego self draws all its limited energy from the true self. So, Sri Ramana Maharshi asks us to search for the source of true I thought, asking ourselves, who am I? Who am I is the mantra he prescribes for self-discovery. Is this mantra different from other sacred mantras such as Aham Brahmasmi or Tattvamasi from the Vedas? Sri Ramana says, all those great statements from the Vedas are mere concepts and can be only aids for self-inquiry. But a real self-inquiry begins when we ask ourselves, who am I, when the mind is still? This question takes us deep into the source, which is pure consciousness or true self. Sri Ramana advises us to be rooted in the awareness of the source, which he calls self-abidance. He assures the fruit of self-abidance is cure for all sorrows that are experienced in the limited existence identified with the body. Self-abidance also transforms the mind from a mixture of activity, lull, and tranquility into a pure channel for reflecting the limitless consciousness or true self. So, don't hesitate to make Who Am I your mantra, which can take you to a blissful state without break. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, and share. Thank you for watching.